So, it's evening here, but we are working with Zambian time. So, what I'll do, I will make my presentation, and thereafter, I will. So, I will make my presentation, and thereafter, I will invite phone calls so that we can discuss. My primary audience is the ordinary Zambian. My primary audience is the ordinary Zambians. Me, I am usually interested in the ordinary Zambians. That's why I call myself a public lawyer, because I consider the public, not so much the politicians. I am not so much interested in the politicians, you know, whether you are UPND, whether you are PF, I'm not so much interested. Of course, if you are Economic and Equity Party, I mean, then we are together. But my interest is not UPND, it's not PF. And this is something that you need to get used to now. Because at the moment, I am squarely standing in between. I'm squarely standing in between, or basically standing on Economic and Equity Party. I am not interested, get it, I am not interested to run an agenda for UPND. I am not interested to run an agenda for PF. I am squarely standing on my political party. Economic and Equity Party, that's all. So don't expect when I start talking, and if you are UPND, you expect that I'm going to speak something for you. If you are PF, don't think that I'm going to speak something for PF. So the association that I had, in as far as PF is concerned, was mostly with Valungu. Of course, I've got friends. I've got friends in PF. I've got friends in UPND. But really, ka agenda kofe na kwete kofie. Nika alewele rapo. And alewele rapo is long gone. Tele loya for alewele rapo. Alewele rapo agenda died some time back. And I will explain. Okay, now we need to. This person, I told this person that I haven't started the program. I'm just picking your call just to test my call, but otherwise, I say when I finish program, that's when I will allow phone calls. So, yeah, where is that now? Let me remove the volume. Nonetheless, they serve their purpose, those people, because at least I know that this phone is working, because it hasn't worked in a long time. Where are we? Okay. Let's remove that. Okay. So, yes. So, I am addressing a few issues for the benefit of the ordinary citizens who may be lost in the rhetorics and the political agenda of different stakeholders. And be mindful that I am not speaking for anyone. And on both sides, there are issues that we can look at. There are issues that we can look at from the UPND. There are issues that we can look at from the PF. And I want to give you the ordinary citizens, those who are not political, I want to give you, facts as they are. Facts as they are. That is what I want to give you. And what is it that we are looking at tonight? First of all, when Edgar Lungu died, like I said earlier in the morning, when Lungu died, I knew that some political interest will come in. I knew that some political interest will come in. I knew that people will start behaving the way they are doing. And I begged to say, can we please put aside these politics and mourn Lungu in a dignified manner as the former head of state. That was my first reaction. Immediately I heard Lungu has died, and I came online. What I said is that, can we mourn Lungu in a dignified manner as the former head of state? And this is my position. This is what I maintain up to today. I am appealing to all stakeholders that we mourn Lungu as a former head of state. This has got its own connotations and advantages, which I will speak about, towards the program. So my appeal is that it is because I want us to mourn Lungu in a dignified manner as the former head of state. As a former head of state, not as a PF president, because he is the former president. He belongs to all of us. He is a national asset. All of us. The moment Lungu became president, that's it. If you have PF na finshi, that is another issue. Today, as we are talking, Lungu is a former head of state. I know some people are saying, yeah, but you are saying he's a former head of state now that he's dead. When he was alive, you never recognized him as a head of state. You never did this. I will explain. I will talk about all that. I will talk about that. But as we speak, Lungu, wherever is lying in state, he is a former head of state. And what applies is that this man is a former head of state. That comes number one. The issue of him being a father, being a husband, those things are secondary in this instance. In the context that we are talking about, if I can put it that way, in the context that we are discussing, what comes first is that Lungu is a national asset. He belongs to all of us. We all have a stake in Lungu. We all have a stake in Lungu. We have a stake in Lungu. All of us. As long as you are Zambian, you have a stake in Lungu, and you have got a right to talk. So don't even feel to say, no, the family, no, you cannot talk, or only Tasila can talk, only this, Awe. He is a state property. He is a state property, and as a state property, all of us, we have a say. We are stakeholders in Lungu. In the form of which, get it straight. Lungu, the moment he became president of the Republic of Zambia, he became president for all of us, and all of us have an interest in Lungu, all of us. So let no one claim to have the right, exclusive right to Lungu. That ship sailed the moment he became Republican president. Yes, he went back to politics. I will talk about that. But I want us to go step by step. So all of us, we have a stake. We have something to say about Edgar Lungu. Even if he likes it or whether he wants it or not. All of us, even whether Lungu, he says, no, I don't want, he cannot. He should have refused to be sworn as a Republican president. Lungu cannot become a private citizen after ruling us for 7 years. He can't. He can't. Lungu cannot. Whether he's alive, whether he's dead, there is no way Lungu can become a private entity, a private person after ruling us for 7 years. And he wants to say, no, this is what I want. Takwawa. Tafyawombe. It will not work. Even Hakainde Hichilema, he has to know. Even Hakainde Hichilema is now a state property. We have a say on Hakainde Hichilema. Whether he likes it or not, we have a say. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. So that is the first step. Now, the next thing is that we are saying, but how is it that there is this confusion? How is it that there is this confusion? There is this confusion. Okay, you are saying that he is a former head of state, and whatever. But why was he not respected? Why were the medical bills not paid? Why was he not evacuated to South Africa? Why, or wherever? Why was he stopped, whatever? This is the argument that the scrupulous these politicians are trying to use. This argument, I tell you, that is not an argument for Lungu. It is not a patriotic argument. These people who want to emphasize the bad things that were done to Lungu, they are not doing it out of patriotism. They are not doing it out of patriotism. Those people that are saying, no, Lungu, when he was alive, hey, you did this, hey, you did this. My brothers and sisters, you ordinary citizens, I want you to know that those people, they are not doing it. They are not doing it for you. They are not doing it for our country. They are doing it for themselves. These are people that have got ulterior motives. They have political interests. They have political interests. It is not about you. It is not about Lungu. It is about them. And that position is not patriotic at all. It is not patriotic at all, because if they were patriotic, they would definitely recognize Lungu to say Lungu is a former head of state. And as a former head of state, you know, whatever traditions that have been set by the country, I mean, have to be followed. If they were patriotic, they would recognize whatever has to be done to the head of state. They would recognize it. But they are putting it aside, not for the country, for themselves. And you are even sweating, yes. All those, the simple question that I have, or if you can ask them, these people who are busy, you know, going back to talk about, no, you did this, they did this, how can they did this? Ask them, why are you bringing this up at this point? Why are they bringing that at this point? At this point, why are they bringing it up now? Why are they bringing it up now? Are they bringing it up for Lungu? Are they bringing it up for the family? Are they bringing it up for the country? No. They are bringing these issues for themselves. They are bringing these issues for themselves. All those who are talking about, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this. They are not doing it for Lungu. They are not doing it for the country. They are doing it for themselves. Because if they were patriotic, they will recognize this simple decorum of a former head of state. What should happen? What should happen? But Edgar Lungu is not the first one to have died as a former head of state. We have precedents. We have traditions that we follow. Somebody was telling me to say, no, it is not constitutional or whatever. Whatever it is, there is a tradition. Whatever it is, whether you say it is not the law, whatever, but there are norms that are supposed to be done. These are the norms that we have subscribed to, and these are the norms that we have done. Why don't you allow those norms to go on? Why? Why are you stopping? Why are you bringing up these issues? Why? Why are you bringing up these issues? I'm going to open phone lines. I want you to call me and tell me why you are bringing up these issues now and holding the country to ransom to say, no, we won't have this. We won't do this because you did this. Why? To whose benefit? What is your objective for bringing up this issue now and holding on to the body of Edgar Lungu? Why? Why? That is the first issue. Why? But now, let us maybe a little bit go back and try to look at what happened. How did we find ourselves where we are? How did we find ourselves at this position? Let us look at that. the acrimony between Hakainde Hichilema and Edgar Chagwa Lungu has been a long one. What we are having, these people that are trying to feast on the acrimony which has been there, or the feud which has been there between Hakainde Hichilema and Edgar Chagwa Lungu. As you know, these two leaders barely met face to face. Barely. I think we can all count with our fingers how many times Hakainde Hichilema and Edgar Lungu met. They just never saw eye to eye. They never saw eye to eye, these people. It has been like that. It has been like that. And this, it was on Edgar Lungu as much as it was on Hakainde Hichilema. These two people have been fighting from a long time. From a long time. When Edgar Lungu was in power, did he spare Hakainde Hichilema? Let us be very factual. Let us be very real. Let us be very real, eh? Let us be very real. When Edgar Lungu was in power, how did Hakainde Hichilema live? How did Hakainde Hichilema live? Did Edgar Lungu give Hakainde Hichilema peace? Did he? Let's be real, kaidi. Namufireta, you know, when umuntu nganafwa, you don't start talking about the negatives of that person. But then again, you have brought these issues, so we just have to discuss them. So if you are trying to demonize these two, and I'm not exonerating Hakainde Hichilema from whatever mistakes that he has done in this. I'm not. I'm just trying to be fair. These two, how was their relationship? How has been their relationship? When Edgar Lungu was in power, how did he look after Hakainde Hichilema? What happened? What used to happen? Imagine if Hakainde Hichilema had died whilst he was in opposition. What would have UPND said? What would have UPND said? Eh? Imagine if Hakainde Hichilema had died during when Edgar Lungu was in power. What would you have said? Eh? Because you want to come out like, no, I mean, okay, well, this guy is bad. I'm not absorbing Hakainde Hichilema from his whatever. No, I'm not. Nakana. Don't get me wrong. But the point is that I'm saying that these two were at each other's throats. They have been at each other's throats. They have been fighting. When Edgar Lungu was in power, Hakainde Hichilema didn't have it easy. Hakainde Hichilema himself, he would have also died. During those kerfuffles. I mean, you know. We all know we can't pretend. Now we can't pretend that because Hakainde Hichilema is in State House, we can't pretend that Hakainde Hichilema had it easy when Edgar Lungu was in power. No, we can't pretend. That. So number, okay, we went into 2021 general elections. Bantwani kane Balungu balusa. And now, if Balungu balushirama elections, when Balungu lost power, and remember, myself, I'm sharing part of my experience. Remember, the PF became very arrogant. Imaba PF, you are trying to look at yourself like you are angels. Are you angels, Imaba PF? Are you angels, Imaba PF? When you had power, were you angels? Did you look after the Zambians? The Zambians that you are holding to ransom, you are holding to ransom. Did you look after them well? Did you? You are stopping me. No, don't talk whatever. Hey, you are turning against the Edgar Lungu and whatever. Did you look after me well? Did you? Didn't you lock me up? Eh? Were you not locking me up? Imwe ba PF imwe. Imwe ba given Luvinda. When you had power, what were you doing to us? What were you doing to us? What were you doing to us? Imwe ba PF. One say, mwe ba lewa Tayali imwe. Vena nakachinda imwe. Vena Makebi. I know when I mention Makebi, people will jump to say, he was your lawyer. I'll talk about it. Mwiranga. I'll talk about it. What did you do to us when you people, you were in power? What were you doing to us? What did you do to the Zambian people? What were you doing? Eh? Now today you want to come out and no, whatever. What did you do when you were in power? What did you do? Look at how many people suffered at your hands. How many people suffered with your cadres? How many people suffered? You had dens of thugs ready to unleash to anyone who criticized you at any point. You would unleash them. You would unleash them. You had your cadres. And you were feeding them like vicious dogs to be unleashed to whoever it was. You used to keep these people as cadres ready to pounce on people. Ready to pounce on people. Now today, you want to come out like you are victims. You want to come out like you are victims. But what did you do to those who are in opposition? What did you do to that Hakainde Hichilema you are talking about? What did you do to Hakainde Hichilema? Some of us would have died. Some of us would have died. I mean, me, I suffered at your hands, you remember PF. Eh? And now, I'm mentioning this because in 2021, I supported Hakainde Hichilema. Some of you little ones, you don't know these things. You talk, hey, Tayali, hey, whatever. I supported Hakainde Hichilema in 2021. And why did I support Hakainde Hichilema? I supported Hakainde Hichilema because if Edgar Lungu had won the elections, I would have gone to prison. If Edgar Lungu had won the elections in 2021, I would have gone to prison. They arrested me brutally, like a criminal. They went home. My mother was there. My mother will never forget how you treated my mother. My family, you treated me so bad, PF. You treated me so bad. So bad. Even if they were sympathizing with me, but the way you did, you were so brutal. So brutal. You put me in PF. Anyway, after when I came out, I vowed to say, they shouldn't come back, because if they come back, I'm going to jail. And I went in full swing to campaign for Hakainde Hichilema. Hakainde Hichilema won the elections. I went to court to Kuria, Nama Surety. Surety one, now you can surety, PF, Mirangala imwe. Surety, Irandi Mukoti, surety, Bamufunyapo, Kusaimina surety my church, I've withdrawn my surety. Because they wanted me to go to jail. But PF, they were brutal. You were brutal. You were brutal. At least I'm speaking from my experience. You were brutal at PF. You were brutal. So don't take the Zambian people for granted. Don't think that we have forgotten. I'm reminding you so that I'm reminding you. But given we've been Mwarikwi nakachinde de barentaka nyine mwarikwi even Hakainde Hichilema we know. And I'm insisting, I'm not absorbing Hakainde Hichilema of his whatever. No, Hakainde Hichilema de barentaka nyine mwarikwi. What was happening to Hakainde Hichilema, that was okay. Because you are busy kaidi ndemivukisha ndeisa. So Lungu alusa my elections. When Lungu lost the elections, there was a negotiations, you remember? There was a negotiations, you remember? Former president of Tanzania, You remember Arabi? You remember those pictures? From that meeting, in that meeting, pre-negotiations before HH took over, the negotiations which were there, Zambia, the negotiations which were there, one of the conditions was Lungu should not come back from, should retire. That is one of the issues that arose out of that. Because of the fighting that were there, Lungu na PF, if HH comes in with the way we have treated him, he will come and fix us. And so, RB and the former president of Tanzania, they had to sit and negotiate to say, as you are taking over, when you take over, don't go for this man. Don't revenge. Don't revenge. And Hakainde Ichilema, I've got information, we know these things. Hakainde Ichilema's issue was, okay, as long as he stays quiet, without meddling in my politics, I will not touch him. As long as he stays quiet, not meddling in my politics, I will not touch him. So he should resign. And that was the letter which was written. If you remember, there is a letter that was written to Secretary to the Cabinet. It was written, a letter was written, kirikiti. Balungu wale mkobat ine, na aleka na politics. And based on that letter, and therefore because you are wondering, how come he was going to South Africa without help? How come whatever? Balungu, after Balusama elections, a negotiations was done. And one of the resolutions was that Balungu Vale Mbakarata idea to resign my politics. Okay? And that is the letter which we all have seen that later. We all have seen that later. That letter went to cabinet. And according to the law, when a president retires, he is supposed to be getting his benefits. If he has not retired, he cannot be getting the benefits. But Valungu Kalata, and that letter went to cabinet. That is what triggered Valungu to start getting AMA benefits. He was getting the salary. He was given a house, but they were renting that house for him. He was, I remember he was given a car, I think much later. No, I don't think they gave him a car. They didn't give him a car. But they gave him a house which was not in a good condition. But the point is that the issue of conditions, benefits of a former president, they kicked in. They kicked in based on what? Based on the letter that was written. A promise or a confirmation to say, I will not meddle in politics. And Hakainde Hichilema also pledged to say, I will not touch this man. These are facts. So from there, what happened now? Hakainde Hichilema is sworn in. Edgar Lungu went back to IBEX. Later on, Umwavera wa UPND, Umwavera wa Hakainde Hichilema. But Hakainde Hichilema kept on talking about Edgar Lungu. He kept on talking about Edgar Lungu. Wapitane. No, these guys were corrupt. These guys were corrupt. That is how some of us came in to say, this man. Come on, you keep talking about corruption, but really, you are not bringing anything substantive. I criticized Hakainde Hichilema for continuously talking about Edgar Chagwa Lungu. I criticized. But in terms of those benefits and everything, Edgar Lungu was getting. They had not given everything, but at least certain things were there. I think I can say like 70% was fulfilled. 70% was fulfilled. Lungu, people are saying, no, Lungu was not allowed to go out. When Lungu just left Amantwanikani, there was no restrictions of Lungu not going out. But there was no restrictions. And Lungu was not talking by that time. He was not talking. He was not involved in my politics. He was not stopped. And I remember one trip when he went to South Korea. Some of you who remember, he went to South Korea. There were no issues. There were no issues. He was not stopped from going to South Korea. He wasn't. He wasn't. Then, another instance, when Arabi died. When Arabi died, you remember HH said it, he called by Edgar Lungu. You remember? So, in other ways, HH tried to live by his what? His word. Apart from the fact that he kept on talking about Lungu. And that was a little bit of a problem. But at least there was a goodwill, if you like. At least there was a goodwill. So, it is not that immediately Lungu wafumine power apopene wawika na muna nkani mu prison. The relationship was seemingly at least manageable, if I could put it that way. It was manageable soon after Hakainde Hichilema took power. Of course, people were being followed. Of course, people were being followed. And including the children and other PF members. But what was happening at that time was that Hakainde Hichilema did not trust Edgar Lungu. Mungu fikishamuna will. Hakainde Hichilema did not trust Edgar Lungu to say, show you muntu nale kama politics or aleve pafie. You see? Because they agreed. But he did not trust him. He did not trust him. And why didn't he trust him? Why he didn't trust him? It is because Lungu wrote a letter to cabinet. But kupati, kupak, kunankane, ku registrar of societies, he remained the president. That is number one. Lungu wrote a letter to cabinet, but ku registrar of societies, he remained the president. That did not sit well with Hakainde Hichilema. It did not sit well with Hakainde Hichilema. Hakainde Hichilema was bothered. This guy has said he has resigned here, but he's still maintaining the records there. What was the argument? The argument was that no, PF has to go for a convention. PF has to go for a convention. Then there was another aspect. Another aspect which was there was that there were properties such as vehicles, money that were somehow stashed around. And these properties, they were linked to Edgar Lungu. Hakainde Hichilema was not comfortable with that. Remember the Faith Musonda issues? Remember? Remember there are also other issues that came up. Remember the vehicles? The number of vehicles, those vehicles which were collected, which are now being used by the police. One of those vehicles even picked me from Livingston to bring me to Lusaka. You remember those vehicles? And how do I know about this? I knew about this because when Hakainde Hichilema was talking too much about Edgar Lungu, I started criticizing Hakainde Hichilema. And I was talking to some of these people, our government, our UPND. I was telling them, what is this now? You keep talking about this man. This man is gone. Why you keep talking about it? You Tayali. The man that you are supporting is not genuine. The man that you are supporting is not genuine. I said, what do you mean is not genuine? They told me, this man has got intentions to come back. I said, no. I don't believe that. They said, no. You go and ask him. And I went and I asked him. I asked Lungu, I'm bothered. You know what? They are bothering you, whatever. What is going on? Do you have any intentions to come back? If you have intentions to come back, I mean, at least let me know. Because actually, UPND is failing. I would be very happy to campaign for you. But Lungu balikene. He refused. I'm not interested in politics. I'm not interested in politics. He refused. And I went back to these people that were telling me to say, no, Lungu wants to come back. Lungu. I went back to them. I told them, you people, you are just troubling this man. This man has confirmed, has told me he's not interested in politics. Please leave him aside. They insisted to say, this person wants. Okay, if he doesn't want, can he go and remove from PACRA, from Registrar of Societies? And that is, I went back to Lungu. I went back. There is this concern of Registrar of Societies. So what do we do? Lungu told me, I'm just waiting for whoever Mukasala, or Mukasala all you want to say. That is when those things will change. I've got no interest. So, let whoever it is take over. Once they take over, that's it. I asked Lungu, do I have your blessings to start campaigning for somebody I think of? Lungu asked me, who do you think? I said, let me go and sleep over. I went. I did my consultation. I went back. And I said, I think he won't do it. Lungu told me, if you think he's okay, go ahead. Go ahead. All I don't want to side with anyone. Me, I don't want to side with anyone. I don't want to side with anyone. I don't want to anoint anyone. I don't want people to start saying, I don't want. So go and campaign. Whoever we will get it, we'll get it. And that is how, you remember the presidential candidates coming up. That is how the presidential candidates came up. And during those presidential candidates, I was supporting Mundubile. I went flat out campaigning for Mundubile. Flat out campaigning from Mundubile. For Mundubile. And as I was doing that, time and again, I used to go to Lungu. Time and again, I would go to him in the evening, whatever. There was no problem. All of a sudden, I go this time around, Lungu. No. What do you think? Anyway, let me not go into the details of that. But anyway, the point is that all of a sudden there was a change. There was a change in, about the convention was postponed. There was a delay in choosing the SG, whatever. If you and yet very clear, very clear. Mpitane akanimbusha kasanje bati bamdala bale chifua I went to kuli ba boss boss mune chifua ya no ni kwata kufya ma concern shani but whatever at the end of the day to make the story short, it turned out that Lungu was interested. If I say we gonna kuli Mundubile. Awe muntu andi kuli akalimbushoku ikala paishi. Beba chapa samiko mutali. Umuipite tete shani. Techa samune. Kwa pa tachira kubuku tachira kwa pa tachira kubuku. Efo Mundubile awekeshe avika na gie. Aikala na kunuma. Pakutampa nomba Arebwererapo. Munenje bati, hey, after all, no white tampi. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. And yes, of course, Vaka in the was not doing well. So, arebwererapo agenda. Mundubile to amuviko. From there, and that is when my cases also started. Ama cases nomba yambo kula poka fikani ba UPND vamo na nde donza chi arebwerera na alechi donza chi arebwerera po bad kind na ivika mono toa icho tupana nkane pa TikTok tureshana ifima nyimbo fyaingira ba UPND bebele uyu. This is the guy to fix. They started following me. They kept me busy. Their strategy was to keep me busy kumakoti, so that I am distracted to fight the Alebulirapo agenda. Alebulirapo agenda. Ama cases ya diva mdala. Ya diva. Ero nomba. Nchule nomba na kuma lawyers. Nchule kuma lawyers. I had to suffer with lawyers. Yes, ngabaku ikata bakulonga ma sales. Balungu wale watu na mafoni. Tayari na wamwikata kabia nikamuchan. They will come. Mundubira was also very helpful. Mundubira used to run. Mundubira ran with me throughout that. He was very supportive. He was even supportive of the Alebulirapo agenda. But ama lawyers, awabe ni mulera ndati yo ama lawyers, nshilekana tinshile mitasha. But in there under fishing, I want to say things as they were. These lawyers ngabaku funya sales. Ukuya kuma court yale babuafia. Kuma sales, yes. Kunga ndamo aleisa. I appreciate. Ngabaka pokola waisa fine mwale isa. Mwalona. Immediately bandekera kuna kuma koti. Kuma koti tamwale isako. Kuma koti na lichula. I struggled. At one point I even got frustrated to say I will represent myself. I got frustrated. Because now isa kukoti tabaliko. Yes, balungu bale landa bale mieba imwe Tayali. Mule mwafako kuma koti. Yes, but more often than not, imwe mwema lawyers, you are giving excuses. Therefore, muishibe. They don't never fishinka. I'm here in exile because of you, partly because of you. I was convicted because of you. Because if you had adequately defended me, I wouldn't have even been convicted by that case of assault. I wouldn't have been convicted. But because mwale tampa mwandekeda mwanshila, tuatampa kesi ya assault ilia. Awo mwaisa kiti mwachita agi. Na umfana wino awe, ndife wino hapa. A few days later, I didn't have lawyers. I ended up being convicted. So, nangumule tuanga, some of them posting, hey, they were helping you, these lawyers, whatever. Ndeme vishinka. I want history to be written correctly. Yes, ngandikukoti mwaleisa mwamfumia. Yes, ngawaisa kunanda kumwandi mwaleisa. Ngatoa kuma koti. Naleva neka. More often than not, naleva neka. You were not coming. And what kind of representation? What kind of representation? Lerona muya kukoti, I mean, how can I have confidence? Yeah? And the evidence is there. I was convicted over a small case. Assault on charge today. Because really, there was poor representation. So Tayali, hey, you should be grateful. But you should be, hey, maybe you are not grateful. I was not grateful. I was doing the job. The job was Alebulirapo. What grateful do you want? I was doing the job. I was really busy pushing Alebulirapo agenda. And those who were behind me were supposed to provide what was necessary, what was needed. When I needed lawyers, they needed to be there. When I needed food, I needed to be there. They needed to give me. I mean, if we have more politics, and if we have, but on their side, they failed me. And when they failed me, namuna fiashupa mdala, fiashupa. Hey, mwanja na wamukuni. Nati, hey, wapya. Efo nanya na wedede fi Alebulirapo na chawe na aleka Alebulirapo. I dropped Alebulirapo because I didn't have enough support. I didn't get enough support. I didn't get enough support from everyone, including Lungu. I didn't. Efo na file kere fi Alebulirapo. Na no mana mkupapa takuli wa UPND. Mwe wa UPND wa natumfuani. Kuiwa mku na ya kulia na papata, please na papata mwe wa tindekere niko. Because I looked around, wewa chame nshikupi manobunga. If you want to think of your shupa, kuiwela mo. Hey, Tayali la chinja, awe muntu andi. Kumona, you look around, if you today, can I fight this? I realized I was not going to be able to fight it. That is how I dropped the level and went to the UPND to plead with them. So that Van de Keko, by UPND na wokui, awa mkwae kutwale mbepa wepafi. Ele lo wambepa. Mpaka kanani ka conviction ka ingira ka asoti. Ka conviction ka ingira ka asoti. Mpitane, boom, na lipila fine. I paid the fine. I paid the fine, awo. Backstop you, not hey. Mpitane, balungu baisa mpela boka 20 pin, twaisa landa. Balungu never ndipirire, yeah. Which kambali tumpasana. Baisa ba mambala. Abantu na bwa ichena bo, bese njikate kona findi uku, tabatu ingishe nchito abarikruti, shani, ndandeko, bafyambata. Ama soja panga nda, baisa. Mwe bantu. Yali kosa. Natitapekarwa. Efo na butwike. Now, I am telling you these issues. I want you to understand. So, in an avu tukanafuma kona fileka fiyarebwele lapo. Balungu continued with the political agenda. It continued. In an afumako, but it continued with the political agenda. That is how I said to nombana. Bastana recruiter akamukashana katikanani. Atikanani aka. Atikachea. Kachea kaingiramu. Shanchani alemo na pondeta mbafi. Okay. Tiena. Kirikiti. Bali wele ma politics. The point I'm trying to make you is that Balungu came back into politics. That is the point. You can forget about all this nonsense, but the issue is that Balungu came back into politics. And Balungu, when he came back into politics, yali beba nomba kuli ba UPND, ya beba nomba oni Balungu. And one of the strategies ba UPND wakwete is to make sure that they make sure that Edgar Lungu doesn't have money. They followed everyone who they thought had money and connected to Edgar Lungu. They made sure they surrounded Edgar Lungu. They made sure that Balungu tawakwete mpia. And so, ba make sure Balungu tawakwete mpia. The next thing is that balita mpoku tina. Uyumuntu takwete mpia locally. But ingaya outside the country, abantu wakatashani bakampere mpia. So, the fear that if Balungu start flying out, Bambo Kulaya Mufialo, he was going to mobilize resources. Because locally, they had taken away the money. Even a daddy so banani batasina bonsa ba fianta bena kampiongo banani bali fianta bonse. So, UPND wanted to make sure that Edgar Lungu doesn't have money. That is how they started, blocking him when he wants to fly out. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that it is as a result of the political activities of Balungu that they started stopping him from flying out. It is not because Hakainde Hichilema hated Lungu to say, no, I want him to die, so he should not go for medicals. No. It is because they were scared if he goes out there, he's going to mobilize resources. So that's how they locked him up. But Pitane, he was campaigning. I'm jogging. They knew this guy, he has come back into active politics. So as he's jogging, he campaign strategy. Kuma change, Ramona. Ni campaign strategy. These things I'm sure you are remembering. So UPND and Hakainde Hichilema, they were following. You are ungrateful. You are foolish. You are very foolish to say I'm ungrateful. It's those people who should be grateful to me. Come on, nonsense. I have sacrificed my life to be where I am. I'm being ungrateful. That's nonsense. So, but the point is that by UPND, by PF, But PF now, Edgar Lungu, they were busy pushing a political agenda. UPND was on this side, coming up ne Ningala to Shabo. Epada echechale vati, oh, tuala mwana nomba wachitevi, tuapita kuluma, tuakugwira kangoto. Because there were strategies, political strategies on PF, there were political strategies on UPND. It was a 50-50 situation. And who had the power? Isaka inde Ichilema. Now you say, but why was Aka inde Ichilema doing that? Now, this is where you need to understand. I'm a politics anywhere. I'm a politics anywhere. They are not child's play. I'm a politics anywhere, they're not child's play. If you enter a politics, you must be ready to be bruised. You must be ready to be bruised. If you are not ready to be bruised, if you don't have the capacity, don't go into politics. Don't go into politics. I'm a politics. Life, I'm a politics. Life, I'm a politics. I'm not the first one. I'm not the first one. Many people have run away from their countries. I'm not the first one. To be, finish. I mean, a lot, what happened to HH? A lot of things happened to HH as well. A lot of things happened to HH. He survived it. Did Edgar Lungu spare HH? No, he didn't. So now, I mean, what what are you expecting of this HH? What are you expecting of this HH? I'm a politics. Politics. Unfortunately, it is not that I'm saying what Aka inde Ichilema is doing is right. No. But unfortunately, I'm a politics. I'm a politics. Politics. You should be ready. You should be ready. No, because when I entered politics, I knew what I was doing. I knew what politics entails. This is part of politics. The only thing I can do is that maybe when I become president myself, I can treat others better. But I shouldn't expect that Haka inde Ichilema will treat me with kids' glove. No. Especially when you are a threat. Especially when you are a threat. Edgar Lungu was the biggest threat to Haka inde Ichilema. Just like Haka inde Ichilema was the biggest threat to Edgar Lungu. And that's why Edgar Lungu treated him the way he did. If you are a biggest threat, don't expect to be treated with kids' gloves. They will come for you. They will pounce you. They will do all sorts of things. Those to my politicians, Utulanda, Muzambia, kirikite, whatever. When you see some of these people talking, no, you are not courageous. This one is here. They are not threats. They are not threats. If you become a threat, Muntuandi, you cannot just be opening your mouth. Why, lala. Anyway. When you see some of these politicians talking, why Shvat is not a threat? Why Shvat is not a threat? If you are a threat, you used to see how they used to come to my house. You used to say how they used to come to my house. Why? Even Panondera, I stopped talking on social media. I stopped talking. I'm talking. I mean, look at the views that I have. I am on TikTok and I'm on Facebook, but look at the views. There are many people who are talking. But my name is prominent. What I'm saying is prominent. There are many people who are talking, but what I'm talking, when Chilufya talks, you hear. You hear. So, you can say whatever you want. I am a big voice. I am a threat. And when I'm a threat, don't expect that Haka inde Ichilema will treat me with kids' gloves. No. It can't happen. It can't happen, and it can't happen. That's why I'm here. I need to survive. I need to survive. Mfile na kosa fi muntu andi. Mfile na kosa. Kwa. Ale chairo kwa ka inde isima. Na inde chairo. It's the same thing with Balungu. What more Balungu? Me, I'm a small guy. Balungu was a big guy. Balungu was a big guy. So don't pretend that Haka Inde Ichilema will just ignore him. No, you can't. You can't expect that Balungu will just be allowed to Bafkapa Airport. Hey, come on, go. No, you can't. Everywhere. Ku Uganda, ku Tanzania. Kuyama elections. Where is the main opposition? Where is the main opposition? Charged with treason. Oh. Look at Kenya. There are problems there. Look at South Africa. Look at America. First democracy. What happened to Donald Trump? What happened to Donald Trump? Nempolo polo shile pitamo muntu andi. Nempolo polo shile pitamo. So when you are a threat, politics te havana yo. Politics te havana. So these things, basically, I'm not justifying Haka Inde Ichilema. I'm just giving you as it is. As it is, because people want to take advantage and cheat you to say, Haka Inde Ichilema is very bad. It's a very bad. No, it's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. That's why I'm a happy guy. I know. Even Haka Inde Ichilema, I don't think it will be acrimonious and whatever. No. Because it is part of the game. It is part of the game. It is just part of this politics. You must be light-hearted. That's why you see Ndarandana UPND, Ndarandana PF, because my politics, Bale njikata imo ba UP ba PF mwale njikata mwanchitefi. But how come still you are my friends? And she was still talking to you. Even Balungu, when I was still talking to him. I didn't hold it to heart to say, Balungu, mwalinchitefi. No. I even used to go to his house and I used to go and eat there. It is part of politics. So people should not manipulate you because of their selfish interest, and they want to manipulate your emotions to say, no, this Haka Inde Ichilema is very bad. No, it's part of the politics, because even Haka Inde Ichilema also suffered at the hands of Edgar Lungu. He would have also died. Just like me, I can also die here. I can also die, but I tell you, if you ask my children, I do tell them, politics, yeah, the shupa. I can even die. I might not even become president. Politics, yeah, politics, they have now, okay, fine. You are saying, no, but they knew that Edgar Lungu was sick. Why didn't they, why were they not allowing him? Here is now the issue. Here is the issue. Let's handle that issue. Let's handle that issue now. No. Yeah, they were not allowing him to go. But like I've explained, why there were these restrictions and these difficulties, even the withdrawal of the benefits, it's because Balungu came back into politics. He came back into politics. And Balungu knew, he even said it, Utuma benefits, you call, I don't care. I will not sit back and whatever. He came back. And that's how they removed those benefits. So the benefits were not removed because Haka Inde Ichilema didn't want Edgar Lungu to be getting those monies. No. No. Like I've told you, Kuma first, immediately after Balungu, he was getting his benefits. He had his security. It is because he came back into politics. That's why those things were withdrawn. That's why they were withdrawn. And that's just what it is. It is the truth and nothing but the truth. Whether you say Tayali, whatever, it is just the truth. That's why they were withdrawn. The restrictions in terms of moving. Yes, UPND was playing in Mingalato, scared that this guy, if he goes out, but Ngaya out, he might mobilize. Now, the issue of sickness. Make Bizulu said, no, they knew that he was sick. Who among you knew that Lungu was sick? Who among you Zambians knew that Lungu was sick? When Tawokawana said Lungu is sick, what was the response from those around Edgar Chagwa? What was the response? Because they want to use this that, no, you have killed him because he was sick, you knew he was sick, and you were not allowing him to go out. The question is, who did you tell that he was sick? And when those in government said he's sick, what was your response? What was your response? Yeah? Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's just say things as they are. You knew he was sick. Let's start with yourselves. Because you are talking about looking after Lungu's health. When you knew that Lungu was sick, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do when you knew Lungu was sick? What did you do? I came to know about it. That Balungu Tayali win. Remember, when I left Zambia, I kept on talking. Nalisa wele kulika level la po agenda kaidi, you know. Nalisa wele la po kulika after na afuma Zambia na furumuka kirikiti ba UPND tafile wumba. So nalisa wele la kulika agenda ka level la po. Dija ndikunse kuno level la po. I came to know about the deteriorating health status ya Balungu. I came to know about it. When I came to know about it, what did I do? I want to tell you what I did, because some of you are accusing me to say, you were part of the Alewe rapport. You are part of whatever. What did I do? When I knew, I withdrew. And I started saying, can we restore Balungu as a statesman? I said, those of you who follow me, you remember me saying, let Balungu be a statesman. Let HH stop harassing Balungu. I even spoke about the church. Can the church intervene? As I was doing that, what did Imwe? What did you do? You were busy pushing. Our candidate is Edgar Lungu. But you knew he was sick. And you knew him being a threat and being in politics. You knew he was going to be targeted. Because politics is like war, Mdala. It's like war. You knew bombs will keep on dropping, But now we shot Muntunarwa. Why didn't you come out to say, this man is sick? Why didn't you engage Balungu to say, boss, withdraw? But you were busy guguzaring him. Nama campaign you come mtu wala kusamfia, guguzaring him. Tie. I was like, this is not right. I withdrew. Ero no mamwa kirikitu. Mama no kula songeli shakala kama ichika. Kachea. Some of you people, you don't even know you are speaking from ignorance. Because kalaka mwa ichikade monagwati. Kale sawa ila kale kotna keshofu kalechita. Nare karole shafi na takeshofu kalechita. Hao Lungu shanchan na rero le shafi. The point is that you were selfish, you people, to start with, before you even talk about HH. You knew this man is not okay. But you were busy guguzaring him. Taking mtwalo. What do you expect? Umuntu has got a failing ailment. What do you expect? Do you think this person can be okay? Eh? Busy kumakoti kwisa. Who do you want to blame? Who do you want to blame? You knew this man is not okay. I couldn't come out. I couldn't be the one to announce to say, na leko kulanda Lungu shan because Lungu is sick. I couldn't do that. But I knew. I knew. And I was just watching those who are busy pushing. Not okay. Let's see how far these things will go. So, whilst you are busy saying, kirikiti, what did you do? You took advantage of him. You were busy, kirikiti. Instead of asking him to say, boss, you are not okay, boss. I knew Lungu Bale Chifwaya, but he's a man who answers, who listens. He would have listened. If you had advised him, he would have listened. But you didn't. You were busy pushing him. So don't project your guilt on others. Don't project your guilt on others to say, ni momo amwipaya. You are part of this. Now remember that let's not point fingers at each other. Because I knew these things. That's why I told you, let's not point fingers at each other. That's why I told you, let's not point fingers at each other, because I knew these details. So now today, and you want me to keep quiet, so that the history can be written wrongly. No, I want history to be written correctly. And you people who write, you should write history as it were correctly. When Lungu left power, there was an agreement. No, stay out of politics. But HH was not very sure. He didn't trust him. And finally, Edgar Lungu came in. Hence, the fire on Edgar Lungu. And yes, you can say, but why was he putting fire on him? But you can also ask, why was Edgar Lungu putting fire on HH? It is part of politics. It is part of politics. Even me, I'm here. Yes, it's bad, but unfortunately, it's just part of politics. I just feel honored that at least I shake by PF, by UPND, to send me into exam. Otherwise, don't cover. Politics they have na. Ngandeme politics they have. So you know what is she? But politics they have. But now mule mshat nalwala. But mule mguguza. At the end of the day, he finds himself in South Africa. How did you expect government to come in? How? How did you expect government to come in? How did you expect government to pay for his bills? No, when he was going out, he had to fly out using whatever, a wrong door, whatever, hiding. What did you expect? What did you expect? This is politics we are talking about. This is politics we are talking about. Unfortunately, when you are coming out like that, you are just showing that you don't know politics. You don't know politics, or you are trying to cheat people who don't understand politics. Politics te havana mwewanti, politics te havana. Mwilave poa. If you find a good leader, if you're feeling. But otherwise, awe, yari kava. America, namu mwone fide chitika kuli America kuli. Elon Musk na nani kani na Donald Trump. Nai kava. Donald Trump, when he was in opposition, what happened? Nikwisa, which country? Tell me, which country? Which country where are you going? You are going to find politics running smoothly. Shan kwata ban Christmas. How hey, mtwandi. Yari cover. You just have to survive it. So it is nonsensical to start saying, if you saw that this man is not okay, you shouldn't have continued guguzaring in ma politics. If Lungu was not in my politics, things would have been better. Because look, even us now, someone like me, I was saying, Imwe, let's see, I was trying to talk about UPND now to say that Lungu, a statesman. But whilst I'm doing that, this one is removing a statement. No, he's our candidate. He's our candidate. It was very difficult. Even the church, Lilian Mutambo said, why did the church fail? Lilian Tambo made a very good question. She actually prompted this. He said, the church failed to reconcile Edgar Lungu and HH. Like I said, those people have been fighting, I mean, I don't know, for a long time. And every situation, it was very difficult. Who was going to reconcile those people? And how were we going to reconcile those people when the candidates around them, they had dug hills like they are doing now? How did you expect Edgar Lungu to reconcile with Hakainde Hichilema, with the kind of people that we are seeing today? Because now we have seen their character. Now, Edgar Lungu cannot speak. Edgar Lungu cannot speak. He's gone. But still, they are still digging hills. They are still digging. Now, for Muntu, Edgar Lungu naya. But still now, holding the country to ransom. Yo, no state funeral. Hey, whatever. Now, for Lungu. It is bad as I won't say, but there is no any other way. Even when the man cannot speak, but they are still perpetuating the acrimony. They are still fighting on behalf of Lungu who is gone. On behalf of Lungu who is gone. So how did you expect that, these two can reconcile? How do you expect that these two can reconcile? Edgar Lungu and HH could not reconcile, first of all, themselves, because they are responsible. You can't just say, no, Edgar Lungu, HH. Both of them, they are responsible. But more so, the people around them. And a good example is what we are seeing now. Those people, what do you think they were telling HH, Edgar Lungu? What do you think they were telling him? Do you think they were giving him good counsel? No. They were not giving him good counsel. They were not progressive, because even here, they are not being progressive. A state funeral, it is for the whole country. It is not for some few individuals. It's for the whole country. When other nations start coming in, to sympathize with you, what, it is part of the country's pride, so to say. Nimu chirilo bad. There is that diplomatic pride that you get. That people are recognizing you, people are coming to your country and mourn with you. It is part of the dignity. But now, because of their selfishness, they take it to secretariat. They want diplomats to go to their secretariat, to that dilapidated, dirty secretariat. That dilapidated, dirty secretariat. Can you even sleep there? Are you even eating there? Has given Luvinda even eaten from there? Has given Luvinda use those toilets which are there? But now, you just want to, because you just want to make it. You want to show off. You want to make a point. You want to salvage your political whatever. Can you manage? Are you sustaining that dilapidated secretariat of yours? Is it even fit to habit so many people? Isn't it a health hazard? A public health hazard? Because that secretariat is a public health hazard. That is not a place where you can go and start gathering people. People will get sick there and they'll start taking compound. You are not even being responsible, because you should think properly about it. In that secretariat of yours. Are you going to treat them? You will be the same one to turn around and start saying, hey, that thing is a health hazard. It is a health hazard. And that's why you want to, to gather people. To prove what? Is that being patriotic? Is that being patriotic? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to achieve? So, these things, let's be real. We are just being real. I'm just being real here. And I insist, I'm not exonerating Hakainde Hichilema. I'm not exonerating Hakainde Hichilema. I'm not saying that it is good to treat Edgar Lungu in the manner that he did. I think we can do politics better. But that is a story for another day. That is a story for another day where we can engage to say, how are we going to do politics? Eh? We can use those examples. We can use those examples. But still, even on Edgar Lungu, if Edgar Lungu had come out to say he's sick, you, the people of Zambia, would have sympathized with him. GBM today is out of jail. Why is GBM out of jail? GBM is out of jail because GBM came out, I am sick. And we used his sickness to campaign for GBM to be released. Every day we were talking about GBM Mulwele, GBM Mulwele, GBM Mulwele. GBM alifuma, ushadi mu hospital. Alifuma GBM. Ali mu hospital. Yeah, is he in hospital GBM? So, even Edgar Lungu, if Edgar Lungu had come out to say, me, I'm sick. I'm going out. I'm seeking medical attention. You people, you would have come out and started saying, why are you keeping this man? This man is going to die. Let him go. Let him go. Come on, give him money. Let him go. Eh? But Mwalef Pangafe, awe, no, simple medical checkup. Just medical checkup. Just medical checkup. Tafide panga sensi. Tafide panga sensi. You should have come out, and when you would have come out, these Zambians would have stood with Edgar Lungu. But no, you didn't want. Even when he was out there, he's attending treatment. Tabakwana said he's sick. He's okay, he's okay. Eh? So, blaming each other, pointing fingers at each other. Nadimi came in, I told you. So don't blame me. I tell you, why are you talking? I told you. Let's mourn in dignity. And at this point in time, what I'm calling for is that, can you let go of, can you stop all what you are doing? Stop what you are doing. Let the process continue. Let us mourn in dignity. Let the country mourn. Whatever other issues, we can talk about them afterwards. For now, let's accord President Edgar Lungu as a former head of state, because he's a former head of state. He's a former head of state. If it is not holding water, and you're not doing it for anyone. You are doing it for yourselves. You are doing it for yourselves. That is the point. You are doing it for yourselves. If you really, if there was a point, I would have sided with you. I would have sided with you. But I know that what you are doing, it is not for Edgar Lungu. It is not for the country. It is just for yourself. It is just a selfish motive that you have. Selfish motive that you have. You just want to cause confusion. What you are causing there at Secretariat is confusion, nothing else. It's confusion. What nonsense is that? Are you telling me? Because that thing is a health hazard. That thing is a health hazard. Today, given with whatever, no, whatever. Where are people? I mean, all those people, where are they going to do? No, we have enough food. Where do they go to the toilets? Eh? That is an industrial area. Come on, what are you doing? Eh? And yet you were in government. You were given Rubinda. You were in government. Would you allow that to be given? You were given. Would you allow that when you were a justice minister? Would you allow that nonsense? Now, if you were a president, you were given Rubinda. You were the president. Would you allow that nonsense that is happening at the secretariat? Would you allow it? Eh? No. No, guys, let's be patriotic. Yes, we can do politics, but do smart politics. Not what you are doing. That is nonsense. Yeah, I'm ready to take phone calls. Hello? Hello?
Hello, yes, Mr. President.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Yes, this is Mr. Mleya calling you from Choma.
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Mleya. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I need to contribute, sir. I've been following you for a while now, but since Zambia is mourning, and I've seen people who have a kind of selfish kind of leadership. They just have their personal interest in someone. They want to sack someone. After they have sacked that someone, then they go away. This is the situation that we have right away in the country. Someone is dead, but they still need to sack. Not until the last day. Then the next step that they will do is to go away and join these other political parties, I mean. That's the main reason why Zambia cannot develop if we have such kind of leaders and people who claim to want to form government. How can you develop with such kind of a nonsensical mind that they have?
Yeah. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Mwabombeni watayari.
Mkwema wombeni.
Au mwalanda mwandini mwalanda oshumfa kwatuno na pafingitete umfa nomani nkwatako feri pusho mumkwe. Now that unfortunately former President Edgar Lungu is late. Ushe kuti chavecha linga mwatwe wako plan binga aliya shani. O ngate timutwebe, do you think it will still hold?
I'll be very honest with you. Very honest. I spoke about plan B a little bit, but Marisa Monana Lekaka. Because tapadi plan B. Tapadi plan B mutwandi. Tapadi. Very
okay.
Papa plan B, I would have continued talking. But there was no plan B. There was no plan B.
Okay.
There was no plan B. I can challenge whoever it is. They keep saying, no, it is a secret, There was no secret. My politics are a secret, Muntwandi. My politics, you have to show what you have. So if you have plan B, tagudi.
Okay, the last thing I have to say to you. My brother, me, I love you. Konkanye nipo fefi no kushipale so mwine wishi befi ubu mibwe no fobuli kontanshi.
Mkwani mule mpepela kofe. Ma politics ya likawa. Te hawa na hiyo.
Awe sana. Tule mipepela mwandini. God be with you.
Panti na itina izamulika kofi. But it's part of politics. Ya likawa.
Awe sana. Desabe na imwe.
Na totela.
Alright.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Tayali, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, Mr. Tayali. Yeah. I have heard whatever you have said, politics and stuff like that. See, what Zambians are saying is that something concerned with medication. I'm sure the Secretary to the Cabinet knew that Mr. Edgar Lungu was sick. And I'm sure Mr. Edgar Lungu asked the government that he should go out for medication, but he was denied. Whether politics or whatever, in order to deny somebody to go for medication, that's a bone of contention as at now.
Yes, so my sister.
Politics, if you
So, my
what
sister.
we're talking about is
medication.
My sister. Not, but it's supposed to go for medication.
My sister. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Mubuntu bwesu. Mubuntu bwesu mayawandi. Umunowe nganalwala, umunowe ngaitaba. You need to come in and help that person. Unfortunately, the politics that we have, and we need to condemn that. We need to condemn that. But as we condemn it, let us not hold it to say, no, but because we need to condemn that. But it is wrong to say, you won't have a state funeral. That is wrong. That is my position on that one. I agree with you. They should have allowed him when they knew. But again, it is wrong for those now to use that.
We are coming from a background where now we will need to go out for medication. So forth.
True.
And again, after we lost Wanawakwi,
But she was evacuated by you.
Okay, fine.
No, but first of all, because we're talking about...
No, let me finish.
How do
you think the family is feeling? How do you think the family is feeling? Babakai. To go for medicals. And then the government.
Monenima. Mwalanda pali bana wakwe. And pali bana wakwe, yes, there were politics that were involved. But eventually, government actually evacuated Wanawakwi. Eventually. Okay? And I want to believe that pali Wanawakwi, there was... There was full disclosure. There was full disclosure. And the government even helped. But Yomulela and the party were the secretary to a cabinet knew the health status of Lungu. I don't think there was full disclosure. I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
If it was there, we knew. We knew.
Why would they deny that?
We knew Wanawakwi was sick. And we were even talking about it. But Padiwa Lungu, Vale Fishirisha. So, we should also be responsible. And I need help of the government. I'm a Zambian. I should come out now. You
know what, my brother? But my brother, for whatever you have said, this one I'm not being sincere. You are not being sincere because
I'm being sincere, just that you have a different point.
You were saying
you have a different point.
I listened to you. You said Mr. Lungu looked frail. That he was not okay. So when he had to go outside the country for medication, it was a response.
He looked frail. He looked frail. He looked frail, but listen, he looked frail, but
the family is feeling now.
Listen, he looked frail, but he was also saying, I'm the candidate for 2026. You see? He looked frail, but he was lifting his hand to say, I'm the candidate for 2026.
Mr. Tayali, there are so many diseases that we are carrying. So it's not right to stop some to go for medication. People that are politicians are not sick. Look what Kawana. Kawana is sick. That's why he goes for medication. Lungu was not.
And we know. We know about Kawana.
To go for medication.
We know about Kawana. We know about Kawana. Kawana is very open about his sickness. Very open.
Mr. Tayali. You know, no. To analysis, but on this one, you are wrong.
Okay, no, thank you. Thank you, my sister. Thank you. Thank you. So, hello?
Mr. Tayali, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Calling from Zambia, I've been following your program very well. Mr. Tayali, me, I concur with you from the start. For much run that my problems are tampire for why am I hearing myself? Okay. Okay, I was just reducing the volume. Yeah. So you find that people are running away from the fact that Edgar Lungu returned to active politics. No matter what, this is Zambia, that this is Africa. Because the same thing is what is happening in America. Mama, when somebody is in power, even the devil in heaven, the moment I shake with
power.
Get out. Mama, if I have a muntu, you get a papa chipuna. Olo ifo iona nikani uko tuwaifunya. Tuwaifunya kuli desa kwa zumu ineresa ni satana ikete kofi. Satana rifeni tiye. Abale. Mama. So we must just accept to say, Edgar Lungu was a politician. And he died a politician. He had these flaws, he had his problems. Let's just accept the fact and move on.
Thank you.
But whatever that these guys are doing, it's not good. Thank you very much, my
Thank you. No, I agree. I mean, it's bad, but unfortunately. Hello?
Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, this is Klings. I'm calling you from Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have spoken a lot. Now, can we also say something?
Mm.
Myself, I concur with you.
Mm.
Whether the president and President Lungu has a difference, we all need to follow what the Constitution says.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Constitution, the man deserves respect.
Yes.
Whether given Luvinda like it or not, it's constitutional for him to have respect. There's nothing they can do in this. Whatever they are doing, they're just, it's just on their own. Look, everyone knows that peace can never change.
Yes.
The arrogance in them remains. PF, that's how it is. And it's very unfortunate that the man who was the justice minister does not understand what the Constitution says.
No, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello?
Sorry.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
President Mwamba Vewe.
How in the we know anyone?
Okay. Awe, nachirapo apena inokutaka contribute to the topic. You see, President, I think sometimes we need to be fair. Kubantu awali leadership na wantu abatule monapati wale ba mistreated. For me, my take on this one is that I think the government missed a point when they started taking Mrs. Lungu to court. I remember some of the politicians and leaders said, do ama politics imwe wameweka mchitamo mbovu hawana kazi. So for that reason, if the government had not dragged Mrs. Lungu to court, by now maybe the president or whoever in government would have just picked a phone for the wife and all would have been resolved amicably. But the problem is the person who is supposed to make a decision is the one who has been persecuted the most. They wanted to get to Lungu through his wife. The issue is not even the PF, the issue is the family. So matter who wants to blame, whoever wants to blame. Again, let's look at it from the family point of view. These people have been tormented. Yes, Mr. Lungu said, even if he was feeling sick. But it doesn't mean Mr. President. Let's be fair. Even in there is hope at Warapola. And I remember when you were part of the Alebo campaign, our hope is that Mr. Lungu can just come, get power, normalize the situation, then at least the country can back on a right trajectory. The problem we have now is that the country is too divided. So we wanted just someone who can come and unite the country. Not that Mr. Lungu, baby. I don't think even you, the time we were championing the Alebo, you wanted Mr. Lungu even to rule for 5 years. We just wanted someone who can come and unite the country. That's my contribution.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Tayali.
Yes, my brother.
Wabombashan.
Winner for what?
Yamkwai. Tuleto tela sana pa. Tayali. Wetu stop sana ba. Tako concern. Contribute. No.
Hello? Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yes, please. So, my former president was right, guys. One. Edo bashire wera kuma politics. And he made it very clear to say, I'm back to come protect the party because they monabantu wale wanaole ekipande batuulire ekirire so if efe akweba ati Edgar Lungu bashiremu apolitics really I think you're in a yo. But I mean, like, not one, if I'm not mistaken, twice.
Line left cup kakweyo. Hello? 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 Network not doing very good. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yes, please.
Tayali?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Mm.
I just wanted to contribute.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So people are talking about division, that the country is divided. It's true.
Mm.
But when we look at where we're going, who is dividing the country?
Mm.
Even when you look at the way the peers are taking everything right now,
You know?
is this bringing us together? You know?
Yeah,
If
you're right.
UPND decided to go punch for punch, right now it's even a bit more contained because they are not responding like that. You know? They are talking about this, but they're forgetting the subtle and underhand methods that ECA was, or the jabs he was throwing at HH.
Yeah.
You know? This is 50-50.
It is. Thank you. I agree with you.
Holding
I
the
agree with you.
country at ransom. You know, why are they doing that? You know, this is being very unfair, and it's unfortunate that the family is letting them take advantage of this situation. You know, there's a life to be lived after Edgar Lungu's death.
Yes. Yes.
You know, there's a life to be lived after this. You know, we can't have people holding us. Some of us are not politically inclined, but they are bringing us into this.
You know?
You know, that lady, she's talking about, there's a lady who talked about disclosure of medical. Until the end of May, Nakachinda was saying that ECL is doing well. He's only away from Zambia because he was getting away from the drama in the country.
See?
They didn't disclose. They say the headlines are screaming there to say ECL is away, he's fine. So where is the proof that they told government to say he is in dire need and he needs medical attention and government refused that?
Yes.
You know, they shouldn't do this. Even for us who had sympathy for PF now, are just so fed up.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
But
Thank you. And that's a point, really. Eh? Actually, the country is divided, but what are you doing? Hello?
Yes, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Yeah, as we go on this period, I believe there could have been a point where politicians, the government, could have an harmony together, sit down, whether the Patriotic Front, the SP, the so-called united opposition, they could have written to government to say, we are aware of our Sixth Republic president has passed on. So the best we can do is that let's meet so that as we are communicating the same language. And I think going forward, this is also the lesson we should learn as a country. I think this has been happening in 1991. Whoever president takes over office will be able now not to be in good terms with the one who has left office. I think it has been long overdue. Even starting with the Vakaunda, Vachiruva, even Manawasa, we saw those things happening. Even the RB, although he was in the quiet background, he didn't speak much. I think there at some point, those that were close to him, they were going to court to and from. And I think we are putting, like it's a future thing that should be not becoming on and on.
Sure.
We should set a...
Thank you, my dear. Hello? 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 Hello?
Watayali mwaombe.
Mkwema wombeni.
Mkwai. Watayali. Aba PF ni ba hypocrite. Ngamule last month wa mumbipiri. Last month wa shirandati. Nachanda na balungu. Nachao kunomweta oli kule kale nkufiko kwili. Ma president bali fye bwili. Lwa mumbipiri balende last month. Iyo balungu na tena na bela. Ikale nkufiko kwili kunomweta oli bwino. Ngeze bese tushe nkufiko kwili. Kwacho muntu alungasho muntu alirwara. Momona. Ndo such thing of government ali bwino. Abantu abawenu ndonse ngabakoti bamumpira bali bali mu festival kuntanji awe bambulebwere bapo tatu ali kutebwa muntu mulwere.
Yeah,
abantu abawenu sana.
Thank you, my dear. Hello?
Hello, good evening, President Tayali.
Good evening.
Yes, I wanted to make a short contribution to your program. Yes, it's so disheartening that our political leaders are behaving the way they are behaving. We have Somalians who are living in Zambia, and we all know to say Somalia has had no government for a long time. Because of the fighting that has been taking place there. But you will never find a Somalian disparaging his country in Zambia. How an old person like Rafa Onakachimba can go to South Africa and start disparaging his own country is so disgusting. We have Zimbabweans in Zambia. You will never hear Zimbabweans talking bad about their country, even when Zimbabwe is worse off than Zambia. Now, they are disparaging the very country they want to come and lead tomorrow. What kind of mindset do these politicians have? Coming to the issue of President Edgar Chagwa, President Edgar Chagwa himself said, I have given up all the little benefits that the government was giving me because I want to go full-time into politics. He said that. He's on record. Now, how did he expect government to treat him? Because he was a political opponent. And one good thing I like about my brothers and sisters in PF is that they have chicken brains because they forget. If there are any hypocrites that we have in Zambia, they are mostly PF. Because for them, they find glory in mistreating other people. But when they are handed the same treatment, they cry like kids. Look at the way they are crying now. All of a sudden, Edgar Lungu is all that matters because Edgar Lungu was their hope. The rest of the country should stop living their life because Edgar Lungu has died. Come on, not all of us got any personal benefits from Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu is a human being just like any one of us. How many other Zambians have died that we have not even spoken about? Were their lives worthless? Yes, of course, he was our former president. He deserves to be accorded the respect, but that's just about it. He died and life has to go on. Other people will come. Pafu abantu, pashala abantu. So why the death of President Edgar Lungu is becoming political? Honestly speaking, I do not understand. How given Luvinda can start behaving like my 2-year, 6 months old son is just beyond me.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello? Hello? Yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Good evening, Mr. Tayali, the President.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
Yeah, I've followed through the program. I've read the gentleman that I think it should be third or fourth before the previous one. He talked about the time that our former president decided to come back in politics, during the memorial of Michael Sattler's stuff. One thing that I noticed most of us Zambians when the former head of decided to say he has retired from politics, he never allowed the Patriotic Front to go for a convention. There was a time when aspirants paid, I think it was about 200,000 for the convention to be held.
Yes.
But that convention was never held. So, to my own understanding, I feel it hypocritical to say President Edgar Lungu tried to come back that he was getting government. He wanted to come back from the time he decided to hand over the presidency to the hands of Edgar Lungu. He still had foresight of coming back. Then coming to the issue of his seat, the Patriotic Front has never at any point disclosed to the government that the president was well and that he needed help. The time that they took him to South Africa, I think they were trying to smuggle him out of Zambia. That time when he was stopped and stuff in the street checks in the lights, in which others are approaching that they were planning to stop him from going. This is the fact here. The president died by UTH -4. He died while in South Africa. So the issue of saying no, they wanted to stop it and stuff. The fact is, if the government intended to stop, he wouldn't have gone. So let's just accept the fact the government allowed him. But the question is, did they disclose? Did they accept that the man needed help, that he was unwell?
Yeah. Thank you. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Great, thanks. I've followed you. Everything is going on. I just wanted to have a little bit of conversation here. Has the family not agreed with government to hand over to the state on Wednesday when the body arrives?
I would say that government has given a position, and I think I would want to go by what government has said. I will refrain from discussing what is the family saying. But remember what who is this one? Makebi Zulu yesterday. Makebi Zulu said they don't agree, and that position we haven't gotten any communication to say they have changed that position. The position that is there is the statement that was issued by Makebi Zulu. That is the situation.
Okay, I followed that and I watched it even today more than 5 times. Actually, I played that clip when you were talking. I wanted to do compare and contrast. Last time I checked, he said we have reached a win-win situation, not the storm it diggers or whatever we are trying to say on the paper.
No,
The issue
listen,
here is that
listen, my brother.
when is the
Listen, since we are having a conversation and many people are listening, Makebi Zulu's statement was that they were trying to reach a win-win situation. That's what he said. They are trying to get so that we can get a win-win situation. But his final statement is that we do not accept government activity. That's basically what he said. And that is the position.
I agree that because what they are disagreeing right now is that the government repatriates the body from South Africa to Zambia. That we need to agree. The family has decided not to allow the government. And to me, the government would have said, all right, fine, a 50-50 win here. We take over from the airport so that it will be a state funeral, which is a win-win. But the more we discuss this publicly and sending a very bad picture, negative picture about the Lungu family, believe me, it's sending negative vibes there because it's not only Zambians that are following this. A lot of people might be quoting you and they may take you as gospel truth.
So now listen.
To me, I think there's a misleading quotation from you here.
So listen, I don't know from which point you started following me. I'm not discussing Edgar Lungu's family. I'm discussing the politicians around Edgar Lungu. That's what I've been discussing. And I've been very clear where I started. I'm talking about the acrimony, and I've gone to explain why there were those challenges of Edgar Lungu flying out. And up to now, I still say the politicians are the ones that are playing. Look at what is happening with the secretariat, at the secretariat. Okay? There is confusion still. There is confusion still. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Edgar Lungu's family. I'm talking about the political interest. That is my position here.
I agree with you, but then I'll still tell you, you cannot stop them from playing politics because even the government right now, including HH, they're also playing politics about the funeral.
Well, at the end of the day...
So stopping them from playing the politics, you're simply giving HH an upper hand to say, go ahead and do what you want. This one should keep quiet. Because suppose the police were to be ushered there, do you think a given Luwinda or anyone there would have manpower to stop the police? Believe me, they'll be scattered. So they even know they don't have the manpower there. So they are playing the little politics they can play. To me, the best we can do, Uncle Tayali, is to ignore them. They have no power once the body arrives or anything. They have no powers. The police can move in there. They'll be scattered, scampering from different directions. We'll be laughing. What I'm saying is the best thing we can do right now is let's just allow the government to do what it can unwind his day.
Okay, my brother. Thank you. Hello? Hello? This person is trying so hard to call, but then the line is not just connecting. Hello? Oh Lord, this guy is persistent. Hello? Oh. Your phone is not going live. I'm not able to pick for some reason. So, hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr. Ted.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me first say I'm so grateful for all the things that you've said. For me, I followed you from way back, even before the issue of the president getting sick. Yeah, you've always been so factual in what you've been saying. I send my condolences to the PF and the family for His Excellency, the late President Lungu, and all the Zambians. This funeral is not just for PF or his family. It's a funeral for everyone. So long he was the president of Zambia. But if people want to take it personal, I think before they come into politics, they have to announce to us to say they are ready that if they die, the government has to take charge. If they are not ready, then they have to stay away from politics.
Yes, yes.
Because the moment you become a president, it means you're a president for everyone, not just a certain ethnic group. Because so far, if you look what is happening on Facebook, people are becoming tribal now, away from the funeral.
I agree with you.
They are now honoring the tribe. You get?
I agree with you.
Yes. So it's more like people are escalating the situation which should have been avoided. From the beginning, to be honest, even me, I've been following on Facebook. I'm just a mere chap. But I've been following people have been saying the president is okay, he's doing fine. There's even a time when Honorable Kawana disclosed the whole information, they even charged him 1 billion. I think it was coming from one of the presidents in the alliance.
They were taking him to court.
Exactly. Exactly. But today people are here now claiming to say, no, the government was aware, they were refusing the president to go out because of this. Let's just stop it. We've seen many people dying and we've seen how the government has been working. Let the president be accorded what he deserves. It ends from there. Someone who is dead can't come into politics. Even the Bible is very clear. When someone dies, their works are forgotten. They shall never be remembered anymore. That is what Ecclesiastes say. So let the president be buried accordingly. He's a statesman. Not the drama we are seeing at the secretariat by Mr. Rubin saying, no, we don't want to go anywhere. This is bad politics. Come on. I think I'm running behind you. I'm going to vote for you. I wish you could come back.
No, I will come, my brother. I will come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Tayali. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
All right. New program, I've been following from by number. I want to recommend you for whatever you're doing, Mr. Tayali. You know, our country is in this mess because of the youth of 1970. Lungu. They want to capitalize. And it's sadly enough, abantu batawalemona balekonkera mufye. Use the constitution. Ichiro twetwacha pamoja na Zambia. One Zambia, one nation, chimini kinshi. The only problem we've got useless elders like Kive Ruvinda. These are the Islamists of 1970s. Our children never escape. Because we're all they are influencing ignorant youths. When I want about now I think the government life is very important. Life is very cardinal. Mama countries then being conducted who they influence to a from West Kusala Muzambia. Naturally, Chiliro, Lungu, me, I'm tired with these youths. Our Macementers, I got no time to Jalo. Let them rest. One fresh bread that you is a plan. What about the Tavati, you never tell for Kudia.
Hello.
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 Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
I don't know why I'm getting my voice. There's some feedback. I don't know why.
Please go ahead.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes. I've been following your conversation and I also want to make my contribution.
Yes.
Look, me what I've seen, I think as Zambians, we want to dilute our constitution and our law and the things that we believe in as a people of Zambia. Because look,
Edgar Lungu, when Edgar Lungu left power, he had immunity, but that immunity did not extend to his family. Edgar Lungu came back to power not because he wanted to govern Zambians better than any other person. He wanted to protect his family because those family members were being followed by law enforcers. So he wanted to become president so that he could save them. You get my point? There was nothing special about him coming back, or maybe he was going to be better than HH. There was nothing like that. Edgar Lungu wanted to come back so that he could save, his family. But then, the moment he came back into power, into politics, into active politics, that man was competing with the other politicians. It was unlawful for the government to continue giving Lungu money, which is taxpayers' money, to compete with other politicians who are funding themselves from their own pockets. You get my point?
Yeah.
So it was prudent for the government to cut funding because you can't keep giving taxpayers' money to a person who is competing with the government and the same taxpayers' money, because there are some politicians who are funding themselves and they are also taxpayers. You see? And for the government to start following Rene Tasila, Abakashiba Kwa Lungu, or his family, the government is not wrong. Those people are citizens like any other citizens. They are not above the law. So it's also pointless for Lungu to say, no, me, I'll come back to protect my family. Those people, if they committed offenses, they were supposed to be answerable. And if they were innocent, they were going to be acquitted. If they were convicted unfairly according to Lungu was a lawyer, meaning you see? So, Balungu problem that he was not a man of himself like you, Mr. Tayali. No, Mr. Tayali, but you stood your ground. But Balungu, if you have Antuaran decisions, if you are a conk, if you have Antuaran, you went as far as saying I'm a serpent. Me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm Taraka wisdom tapaisana, because the wise person would refrain from daring the government of the day.
Thank you.
You see, anyway, that was my contribution.
Thank you. Hello. Hello. Yeah. This person, please. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, Matthias.
Good evening.
Evening. I wish also to forward my concerns over the immaturity that is being portrayed by PF. My name is Chilufya, calling from Ndola.
Okay.
What we have seen in the recent past. In fact, before I even go any further, I want to also congratulate you, Tayali, for actually growing politically. You are now an heavyweight. You are an heavyweight because in the previous days we didn't know how to handle you. We thought you were a candidate, but at this point we have realized that you have actually been giving credit where it is due. And your checks are actually balanced. When you PND is wrong, you actually reprimand them. The same is done to PF. Now, we are Zambians, I think we are very disappointed that PF had credible lawyers such as Abena Makebi Zulu that are actually failing to interpret the constitution and advise Lungu wrongly. At this point, Lungu is a national asset. There is nothing like gaining political mileage over his death. And it's so disappointing when you look at people like Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Mr. Tayali, how are you doing?
Fine, my brother.
Long time. We are missing you in Zambia, Mr. Tayali.
I will come. I will come. I will definitely come.
Yeah, you know, it's me who has been trying for a long time. You know, are you getting me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, are you getting me now, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Kenneth Yafunda, calling from Dola.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, me, I'm surprised of the drama the people like given in the other group they are playing. You know, it also surprises me as how he was a minister of justice. Are you getting me, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, you know, much as Lungu was came back to active politics, which is in the public domain, but at the moment he has died as the former president, where all the Zambians they need to respect his death and make sure that he's buried decently. So he is not just there because he was a PF, whatever, a presidential candidate or so. The government is saying he is a former president, and let those guys accord him a government burial to take place. Are you getting me, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, so the challenge that we have, the PF guys, they want to take it as if it's their own personal opinion. No. So they need to get back their senses and know that even the people who never voted for Lungu like myself, we are mourning him because he is my former president.
Yes.
I'm not doing that is a PF that have nothing to do with PF. I never benefited anything. If anything, they caused more harm than good to myself as an individual. But there's nothing that I can do because he was voted by the majority Gambians to be the president. And now our former president has died. He needs to be accorded a state, you know.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Hello?
Yes, my boss.
Yes.
You say?
First I was contribute. So like my man did in Berlin. Is our Lungu as an president of Zambia. And the former president was but kulingana na situation Lungu ya mimi anapitamo vameona mpitisa kwa government. I think it's fair for this government just like vamene wafuna family chite vamene ifuna party yake chite. You understand?
Tivel.
Kama reason mameno na mtikusa ngati wakamba nizoona kuti wenzo mukani especially outside the country wenzo shito mukani then balibe mphamvu kulira mufanye tubimanje bazalirira matango mu kandiza ali wa mu wayo wafunathandize manje muntu amwalira Msemja ningapata example ya kuti wakana mimba. Kwa samkazi mimba wakana mimba siyanga. Mwana akula wa mamanja mwana doctor kapena nkala pilot manje ndipo wambo kreno tu mwana ni wanga. Chiwapi chipanga nsense?
I think Simuna Konke kwa mele program ya ambila Simuna Konke yeah. Hello?
Hello, good evening, Satan.
Good evening.
Yeah, what I want to say to you, I wish I could whisper to you so that nobody else hears. But since this is the only platform that I have, I'll say it out. Hello, are you there?
Yes.
But Tayali, you have an opportunity politically now. Because when I look at the political landscape in Zambia, both the ruling and the opposition in its entirety, I'm telling you, Tapali, there's nothing. I'm telling you, there's nothing. People can say what they want to say, but personally, I'm seeing something in you. So Mdala Shipafe. One day, trust me, you will be there. You have what it takes to excel politically. Kushipafe Mdala, apata pali batonse, bashani wonse, let me not mention. But in Zambia politics, tapali Mdala. But what I'm seeing in you, the way you're handling things and the way you've come all the way, Mdala, you have something. Just kushipa one day the sun will shine. That's what I wanted to say. But I would have loved to say this privately. Privately, you would think it be, But anyway, that's the message. Thanks very much.
I only ask for your prayers. Leadership comes from God, and we pray that we pray for ourselves, we pray for our country. Thank you.
And that's why I love you, because you see, even put God first.
Sana fi muntu andine nileza kuntais vyonse fi whatever isakamana no kusakamana inana panga vatile somwine aishiwa chapwa. That's why isha kwatira
Mdala
na abantu
Mdala now bada wisha na abantu now bada wisha na abantu pantu. You see, the former for people you thinking is the one who was funding you, but you are openly saying, I'm not willing to come back. It means, Shipafe.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, Mishani Mkwaiwa President.
Wina veshani mani.
Kwena njumutende na totera pa kunjashka. Ichakuda ipapata kundefa Mumba wasa tukwete mumuna problem yali concept para chalo pa na vapo na kawaida poku Ini cari stika dari ban pakai Lungu no ini cari kata don so gak mas di sibare bastante ini ban di ini karakter kita panda Mam. So ilo nafika numba. Numba the upload nikuma isi takuva opposition na but mam. So eba ngene ngano abari tahandi liro apai na oba mamani nadon abari rongo bagan abari yam tampu mamani so by $6 Baprina Mangala they are not off and not recently
yeah, shupa but I was trying to listen, but na shupa ko kumfwa ya shila shupa kushupa ko fonira. Yeah. Anyway, I think Twalanda sana. I think I've allowed the number of phone calls. Let me maybe just take 2 more. Hello? They keep coming. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Because I saw that it's a lady, I had to allow it. Hello?
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Tayali.
Good evening, my dear.
Thank you. This is Melissa calling from Chagwa.
Okay.
Following the program, I really appreciate how you've come out. It's so painful to see the confusion around the. It's so painful to see the confusion around the death of our former president. Especially that this confusion is caused by people we look up to as our role models. Young people are watching. And so this same behavior is one that is going to likely to destroy our country. Okay? As a nation, we're to remember our former head of state with respect, regardless of whatsoever happened. Nobody's perfect. He may have erred during his time. The other camp may have mistreated him, and so forth. But at this point, this is a point where the country has to unite, dialogue, forget. Because right now we are discussing about a person who cannot defend himself.
Yes.
Okay? So we must remember to give respect to the dead. Look, whatsoever happened later in his life, he once led this country. So because of that, he really deserves dignity. So let not those others take his passing turned into a political drama or just to be used to seek attention. This funeral is not for PF, it's not for UPND, it's not for EEP. It's for the people of Zambia. Because this person led this nation. He did not lead only PF. He once led the country.
No,
honestly speaking, if he was my father, I think I would wouldn't tolerate such kind of behaviors.
Thank you, my
I would expect the country to honor my father in peace and with no arguments and public attacks.
Thank you very much.
This man cannot speak for himself. And then others should use his death to gain political mileage, which is wrong. So, sorry to have used you, Mr. Tayali, with these other politicians. Please help us young people that we may imitate the good behavior of you, old folks in politics. Because we are watching, and now others would think what is being done is the right thing. It's not. It's not everybody who understands that mourning a former head of state in such kind of a manner is a wrong thing. Others will take it as a right way. And this can lead to confusion in the country. We may not enjoy this peace that we have now. Later, this repercussion is going to cause a very huge destruction to our nation. Thank you. That's my contribution. And I'm still waiting for my job in Malaysia. You told me, you posted that you have secured a job for somebody in Malaysia. I'm the one. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, you're still live?
Yes, I'm still live and you are live.
Thank you. Let me just get straight to the point. Thank you. The PF are still in denial. That's the because they just don't want anything to do with UPND. Even if, for as long as got UPND involved, they just don't. Because right now it's not about UPND. The government, and the government means one. You understand? Because these people are giving they know, but they're doing it deliberately. And the nation is seeing this. And one thing, they are just like listening that. But we need to really.
Okay, but I'm struggling to hear. Anyway, I'm sorry, I have to leave it there. I think we have had a good discussion. So, I mean, in conclusion, myself, I'm simply saying, I mean, whatever these people are talking about, it's really not benefiting the nation. They are not being patriotic. They are doing it for themselves. And it is unfortunate that this is how they have, manipulated Edgar Lungu and, made him vulnerable. When they knew he was sick themselves, they didn't, take precaution. Instead, they were busy defending, Edgar Lungu to say, no, he's okay. And now this has happened. Now they want to turn around and point fingers at others. I think it is unfair. And in terms of how Edgar Lungu was treated, I think mostly it is the nature of our politics, which is not good, which is definitely not good. I think we can do better. But at the same time, I don't think it would be good to demonize one person, because even Edgar Lungu, when he was in power, Hakainde Hichilema did not have it easy. I am not saying it is right, it is wrong, but unfortunately, we need to recognize that I'm a politics. Thank you very much for following, and I pray that everything goes well, we mourn well, and we bury our former head of state in dignity. That is my prayer. And my prayer is that we bury our former head of state in dignity. All this nonsense, let it go away. Let us come up together as one country and mourn by Edgar Lungu in dignity. Whether you are PF, whether you are UPND, whether you are EEP, and whether you are just a Zambian, let us just mourn. Other people will come in to mourn with us. Let us mourn nicely. Not if you feel it's unfair, and I'm sure many of you, I'm glad that many of you agree with this fact. I hope the PF, I hope they will do what is right at the moment. Thank you and good night.